Number 10 then, in my best of movies for 1955, is Not as a Stranger. This was the debut from new director Stanley Kramer, who became quite a big favourite of mine throughout his career. This was a reasonable start. It's a story about three doctors training to be doctors, and traces how their lives unfold. The main focus is on Mitchum. The three central cast figures are, and it's an illustrious combination. Robert Mitchum plays Lucas Marsh, and Alfred Boone is played by Frank Sinatra, and Lee Marvin as a Brundage, ably supported by Olivia de Havilland, Christine Hedvigsen, who becomes Mitchum's wife. Mitchum manipulates the situation with her and gets married to her so that she will assist him in the costs of getting through medical college. And then we follow the developments of their careers, particularly Mitchum, in the fact that it really rebounds on him, the fact that he's used de Havilland, and we also follow to a lesser extent the exploits of the other two, particularly Sinatra, who isn't in the film that much but becomes extremely successful and is called upon later on by Mitchum, whose career is going slowly downhill. It's a reasonable start and I quite like it. Number 10. At 9 is Killer's Kiss. This is the second, or was the second, feature by Stanley Kubrick, and cost peanuts to make, and it's a nice black and white about a story about a boxer, Davy, and a low-rent dancer, Gloria, who begin an affair after Davy saves her from being assaulted by a gangster boyfriend, Vincent. It's limited, but it has some nice moments, and bearing in mind this is 1955, some nice footage of New York throughout, and it's only an hour, just over an hour, but a very good effort from Kubrick before he went on to make bigger and better things. At 8 is The 7-Year Itch, a Billy Wilder directed film which brought to the attention of the movie world one Marilyn Monroe, who plays the girl. It's a comedy set in New York. It's a hot summer season, and a businessman is in New York for the summer, away from his family, and the title suggests exactly how he is feeling after 7 years of marriage. He is played by Richard Sherman, his character Tom Ewell, and it's about a series of events that take place between Ewell and the girl, Marilyn Monroe, as she overpowers him with her seductive charm. It's a nice little movie to get stuck into, and it launched her career and particularly her association with Billy Wilder. The number 7 movie for this year, 1955, is The Man with the Golden Gun. It's directed by Otto Preminger. It stars Frank Sinatra in the lead role as Frankie Machine. Eleanor Parker is his partner as Josh, and Kim Novak plays Molly. Basically, Sinatra is a professional card dealer, poker is his name, and he's also a junkie. And it's one of the first movies to really tackle the issue about addiction, and I think it's handled very sensitively. Sinatra is absolutely superb in the lead role, and it really is worth taking a look just for that. I also like the character Molly, played by Kim Novak, and it's a good, decent enough movie, so get to watch it. The Man with the Golden Arm, not to be confused with The Man with the Golden Gun. So to 6, Bad Day at Black Rock. I really like this movie. It was a very successful movie as well. Directed by John Sturges and got an excellent cast, including the following. I'll just go through it a little bit. Spencer Tracy, nominated for Best Actor, and Lee Marvin, and it escapes me now these other members, but at first class, Lee Marvin, Ernest Borgnine, to name but a few. Basically, Tracy's character Macready arrives in this town out in the desert called Black Rock, and he's there to investigate the disappearance of a Japanese American, and his appearance at the railway station generates a very cool response from the locals, who see him as in a very suspicious light. It's a very tense thriller about how he, Macready that is, how he manoeuvres himself into position to gather up evidence with regard to the disappearance of this man. Fine movie, great cast, great acting. So to number 5 then in my top 10 for 1955, and it's Picnic. It's directed by Joshua Logan, and it's a nice little film. I enjoyed it. William Holden is the lead star in this one. He plays Hal Carter. Kim Novak plays Madge Owens, and Betty Field, Flo Owens, Susan Strasberg, Willie Owens, and Cliff Robertson and Arthur O'Connell also involved. This caught the eye at the awards season. It won the Best Art Direction. It also won the Film Edit and was nominated for Best Picture. And Arthur O'Connell got a nomination in Supporting Role, as did Joshua Logan. Golden Globes, Logan won for Best Director, and it was also nominated at the BAFTAs. It's a simple enough tale. It's about a sort of drifter, Holden, who arrives at a small town in Kansas, one that he is familiar with from yesteryear, and he arrives on Labor Day when a picnic has been arranged for the community, and his impact on that community is substantial, particularly with regard to relationships that appear on the surface to either have cracks in them, appear quite solid, and of course he is an attractive man, and he gets womenfolk to turn their eyes in his direction, and particularly impacting on Kim Novak, who's regarded as a sort of young beauty queen in the town, and also Rosalind Russell, who's a middle-aged woman who's it would be clear has been a very attractive catch in the town. And the impact, as I say, is seen throughout the film. It's a nice film to watch. So that's Picnic at number 5. At 4 is the first of 2 films with the legendary James Dean in. This is East of Eden, directed and produced by Elia Kazan, based on a script from the book written by John Steinbeck, starring James Dean as Cal, Raymond Massey as his father Adam, Richard Davalos as Cal's brother Aaron, and Jo Van Fleet as the boy's mother. And there's also a significant role for Julie Harris, who's befriends Aaron initially, but also is attracted to young Cal. So basically we've got 2 brothers. It's a family business. The father has brought the boys up alone, and has told the boys that their mother has died many years before, which is in fact a white lie, because she's actually went on to establish a business as a madame in the nearby town. Cal feels somewhat of a black sheep and attempts to win the heart of his father by approaching his mother, who he finds out about, and asking her for a loan to tackle a new business after the family business falls on harsh times. And he, with his guile and skill, makes a good go of this new business, and gives all the proceeds of it to his father, but that still is insufficient to win his father's love. And it's a tragic story in many ways, how two brothers are treated in radically different ways. And of course it's very linked into the biblical tale of Cain and Abel. And it's number 4. To number 3 then in my top 10, it's Marty. This is a screenplay and story by Paddy Chayefsky. It's directed by Delbert Mann, and it's basically stars in the lead role Ernest Borgnine as Marty. His girlfriend, later become his wife, Betsy Blair, plays Clara, and his best friend is Ralph, played by Frank Sutton, and Joe, played by Robin Morse. And it's a very interesting movie. It's a slow burner. It's about a young man who's devoted to his mother, remains single, and is definitely in need of finding a female that he can love and be with. Although he's torn between this desire and his loyalty towards his mother. The efforts are initially made by his friend to set him up with various girls, but they don't work. But finally, when he's out one night, he meets a very plain-looking girl, Clara, and they sort of knit together quite nicely. And this movie was really the big movie of the year. At the Academy Award, it won Best Picture, Best Actor for Borgnine, Best Director and Best Screenplay for Chayefsky, and nominations for Mantel as a supporting actor, Betsy Blair as a supporting actress, and various others. So it was a huge success, and it's my number 3. So to my number 2 then, and this is the other movie, Rebel Without a Cause, starring James Dean, directed by Nicholas Ray, based on a screenplay by Stuart Stern, and from a story by Ray. And in the lead role is James Dean, who plays Jim Stark. Natalie Wood plays Judy. Sal Mineo, another one of a friend of Dean's, that's developed in the early part of the story. He plays John Plato Crawford. Dean's parents, Frank Stark, father, played by Jim Backus, and Carol, his mother, played by Anne Duran. And it's a tragic story, really, about adolescence and the problems of adjusting to this age group when there's an epidemic of juvenile delinquency that's rampant in the area. James Dean, Jim Stark, arrives in the area, is new to the area, has the problem of trying to integrate into the school and establish himself, but he's under a lot of pressure to join the gangs, and he basically rebels against this, and also rebels about over-controlling parents, and gravitates towards his two friends at college, Judy, his first love, and Plato, played by Salminio, and the movie follows the life of those three, and it's got a tremendous impact to it. Dean is absolutely terrific in this performance. Certainly the one I like best of the three movies, and it's at my number 2. It was also extremely successful at the Academy Awards. Salminio got a nomination, as did Natalie Wood a nomination, and it got a Best Writing nomination, but nothing for Dean. But Dean did succeed with a nomination at the BAFTAs, and Wood got won the Most Promising Newcomer for females at the Golden Globes. So there it is. That's Rebel Without a Cause. So finally got to that magical number 1 then for 1955, and my selection for this is Blackboard Jungle. It's directed by Richard Brooks. He's responsible for the screenplay, based on a novel by Evan Hunter, and the cast. And the lead role is Glenn Ford, who plays Richard Dadier. Sidney Poitier, in one of his very early roles, plays Greg Miller, one of the students in this school set in urban America, in a part of the city which is notorious for violence and delinquency, and a lot of disobedience at the school setting. Vic Morrow plays Artie West, another student. We have Anne Francis, who plays Anna Dadier. That's Richard's wife, of course, and a number of other members of the cast are, of course, members of the school. At the Academy Awards, this one was the nomination for Best Screenplay, Cinematography and Art Direction, but there was nothing for acting roles here, which I find quite remarkable. This is a tremendously powerful piece of cinema about being in a urban school. Violence is a matter of course. Disruptive behaviour in the classroom setting is the norm, and it's how a young new teacher tackles this problem head on. Although he is somewhat idealistic, he has a number of methods up his sleeve which prove very useful in containing and managing the class, and also inspiring some of the students. The issue of racism is also prevalent here, and it's a tremendous movie, I find, because it looks at the problem of education in urban settings head on. And it's my number 1, Blackboard Jungle. So that concludes my best 10 for 1955.